Hi, I'm Carly Levin with the Legal Tech Fund. We are doing a special series with our TLTF Summit Advisory Board, talking to our advisory board members about what is top of mind for them and what they're looking forward to with the TLTF Summit. Today, I have Bill Denninger with me from Datavative. Thank you for joining. Thanks for being part of the advisory board. How did you end up in the legal tech space?
So I've been in legal tech for about 15 years now. I started my original career in sales. I sold a lot of technology when I was first starting out. Then I started working in plaintiff personal injury law firms, specifically ones that concentrated in mass torts, but I have experience in single event practice, asbestos, and others. And I kind of developed the skill where I was able to talk to the lawyers, understand what they needed, and then talk to the technology folks and act as a translator. I turned that into a career and eventually into a company, which is functionally what we do now. Is we go into some of the largest firms in the country that are on the plaintiff side, and we rebuild them.
Great. So you're talking to law firms all day. You're talking to technology firms. What is the top trend that you are tracking right now?
This is such. My joke is I talk about legal tech before legal tech was a thing. And it's suddenly just exploded, and it's just so much fun. The amount of companies that are coming with unique solutions, solving real problems is inspiring. I'm seeing a lot of deeper issues, kind of not just the fringy, but kind of the deeper core issues and functions within law firms being solved, and the advancements in the technology. I think it was a combination of kind of COVID, where it forced a lot of law firms, especially the kind of the consumer-sided ones, to really take a look at their technology and reconsider their investments, move to the cloud, that type of thing. That triggered a major investment, and then AI came right after that, and suddenly it's just been a reimagining. And I think even to the point where now the law firm business models are changing. And that's, for me, when I look kind of long-term, that's the part that really gets exciting. Is I think you're going to see a reimagining of the relationship between, I think, the end consumer and the lawyer, what the expectation is on services there, and the way they're delivered, and the communication, and how involved the client is. I see a real kind of reimagining.
Give me an example that you've seen recently.
Well, I think there's a couple of big trends that I've seen over the last few years, which is different methods of communication really being customized to the individual, right? Because there's so much just information back and forth between the firm and the end consumer in the area that we deal in, and it's hard, right? So some want email, some want phone, some want text, and I think it's also the customer experience, where a lot of these firms, I've been doing this for a while. 5-10 years ago, they would go a year without talking to their clients in some cases, in like mass torts and things. That doesn't happen anymore. It's constant communication, even to the point now where there's portals and clients can check up on their cases on their own and upload information and almost become almost like an active participant in that cases.
Yeah, that's a real differentiation. And it's so interesting because I've been having a number of these conversations, and communication has not come up before. So I love hearing something different.
Yeah, and it's also, the way the attorneys are working, their ability to move work, produce better work, I think is, one of the big things that I talk about. It's not that I necessarily want you to do more. It's, I say, if I do 100 tasks in a week, my goal, 20 of them I may do a great job at. Another 30 I did okay, and 50 I kind of just mailed it in, right? The goal is to make that 80% is just really work you're proud of, because the kind of rote manual labor type things are, really you're able to accelerate through them using technology now.
Yeah, equal quality across.
Yeah, and you're getting better work product and faster turnaround times, and all those things. But the competition between firms is really interesting. Firms that are adopting and changing, firms that aren't, and then the elephant in the room is all the kind of private equity MSO money that's moving in and forcing a lot of these changes, like you've seen in other industries too. It's kind of just in the beginning, but when it starts, it's relentless.
You touched on this, or you began to, but what's your biggest, boldest prediction for what the industry will look like in 10 years or 15 years?
Yeah, I think you're going to see a big consolidation. I think there's going to be a number of, I'm specific, law is a broad topic. I specify, I'm very specific in the plaintiff personal space. I think you're going to have a number of mega firms like Morgan and Morgan's. I think they're going to deliver great product, right? They're not going to be, bespoke, right? They're going to be a little bit more assembly line, but the level of, the customer experience, the pace and speed of the case, the resolutions will become, I think, better than what you see here. And then I think you're going to have some, what I like to refer to as artisanal lawyers, which are just really great lawyers. They stay small. They're great at what they do. They don't need to run the world. They want to have, a few hundred cases a year that are great cases that deserve their full time and attention. And, I think you're going to start seeing a little bit more of a stratification of these types of firms.
How many, I'm just curious, how many law firms will there be in this future scenario?
That's tough to say. There's a lot going on too. I mean, you have a number of boomers retiring without, good succession plans, right? So all automatically some of these other firms. A very regional business, practicing law, especially on that and what we do, it's state specific, even down to the county sometimes. So, what ends up happening, I'm not exactly sure. I don't think there'll be a ton of mega firms, but I think you'll see a lot of regional firms that are good sized, able to compete. I think it'll be hard for a smaller 2-3 attorney firm to really compete with, with marketing and targeting. I mean, the MarTech market, your ability to isolate and put your advertising and your name in front of people is, changed so drastically. Now, when I first started, it was, run as many television commercials and billboards as you could because you couldn't target, and now you can, and the targeting is only getting more hyper. And the trust level is different, I think, too, where it's when you're really targeting, you're giving persistent messages to the people you're really looking for. I think that it's easier to build that closer relationship. So when they do need you, there's a little bit more trust than someone who's just, blasting out commercials. But, these are just my my random predictions.
November will come quickly. What are you looking forward to for the TLTF Summit, and what do you recommend to first timers or folks attending?
Yeah, my recommendation is talk to the CEOs, to the people investing in these. It's a great room. The buzz, and it's very entrepreneurial. So you get, when I went last year, I was able to sit down with CEOs and talk about the problems they're solving, and the feedback from the clients and the approach, and where they had resistance and where they didn't have resistance, and kind of what they're able to solve now that they weren't able to solve, 2-3 years ago. AI has really changed the game. Make these software algorithms do, it's a completely different world, even from last year. So it's so exciting. And I think, even, when I look at my business, there's more opportunity than I can ever take on. And sometimes it's just a question of picking a path and focusing on it and moving down it. And I think that's going to be one of the interesting things that I'm going to sit down as I talk to people, different, legal tech companies. What are they focused on, and how does that, ultimately I'm a shopper for my clients. So, are they solving some of the problems that I need, to handle on behalf of my clients?
Great. Anything else you're looking forward to in this world, or anything that we didn't cover?
Yeah, it's such an exciting time in our space. There's so many different moving parts, and I think that just being in the room with like-minded people who are intellectually curious, thinking about these things, trying to solve these big problems, and not the fringe stuff of like, how do you answer 1,000 incoming phone calls from a really great marketing campaign in a day? Really deep legal issues, and deeper than we were typically able to solve now, especially with AI. The lawyers have gotten on board and embraced technology like I've never seen before, and it's just continuing to move in that direction. And I think it's just a really exciting time.
Yeah, the train is moving.
Yeah, it's fun. It's great.
Well, thank you so much for joining me, and we look forward to seeing you in November in Scottsdale, and appreciate all the work you've done as part of the advisory board.
Thank you, and I am happy that you've asked me to participate.
Thank you.